here in Boston in the first game of the night. Trilogy taking on the Ball Hogs. As we take a look at the Big 3 standings, and he's right. You got two teams here really playing for pride. Ball Hogs, Trilogy, along with the Ghost Ballers, all at the bottom of the league at 1-5. It is week 7 of the Big 3. Brian Custer alongside my partner, the All-American Jim Jackson. And, you know, Jim, crucial night here tonight because two teams can clinch playoff spots tonight. And really with this game here, it is all about pride with these two teams.
Well, two spots are open, playoffs. Guys want to get in and be able to play next week. Atlanta, but then go to Dallas for the playoff. But this game is all about pride between the Ball Hogs and Trilogy. Trilogy won it last year. They're the bullies of the league. Things didn't work out, but you still have to play. Ball Hogs still trying to search for some kind of meaning. You win the game, you play next week, you walk out of here with a little bit of pride.
Let's take a look at the lineups here for both of these squads here. And listen, for Trilogy, no Al Harrington. He's out with the knee. He's not going to be playing. So Rick Mahorn, well, they've got Al Thornton in, but Deion Glover, James White, and Rashad McCants will start things off. And for the Ball Hogs, Deshaun Stevenson, Andre Owens, and of course the White Mamba, Brian Scalabrine, who's very popular back here in Boston. And it's the McCants, Deshaun Stevenson matchup you want to watch because it should be quite a good one.
Well, it should, and also Kenyon Martin, when you heard Michael Rappaport see Andre Owens being aggressive early, so they're going to play hard. And where you play hard the most is on the defensive end. So let's see if that really transfers over, that effort, that pride, not to just the offensive end, but see if Trilogy can get consistent stops on the defensive end.
And right in the post, they go to Rashad McCants, knocked away by Deshaun Stevenson. And here's Owens driving the baseline, but he looks like he stepped out.
Oh, we got the ref. Good one, glove. Yeah, man, all you know that.
Glover will inbound.
Off his hands. Come on now, go to the ball.
There's the head coach of Trilogy, Rick Mahorn.
Direct the glove right there.
Pride of Hampton University.
That's right. A little frustrating for him this year.
Yes,
it really was. I mean, we got so accustomed in waiting to see a post-game, the bow in the center of the court from Trilogy. Rick was able to manipulate his lineup to make it work. But this year was a different story. Teams got better. Teams got more competitive as a result. The Ball Hogs wrapped it in. Trilogy wasn't able to make the adjustments, and plus, for the most part, Kenyon Martin has been out as well.
James White will bring it in for Trilogy. And they go to Deion Glover. Fades, knocks it down.
Look here, get him, glove. Get him, glove.
Both of these teams come in 1-5.
By yourself.
And to your point, Jim, Rick Mahorn even told me before the game, he said, listen, we gave up that game in Miami to Power. That was a game, he said, I think could have turned our season around.
Well, at that point, you beat probably second best team record-wise in the league. And not that these guys need confidence, but you win that game, it puts you in a different light, a different category. Momentum shifts your way, and how they lost the game when they were in the game but couldn't finish. A lot like Ball Hogs. You see Andre Owens with a great play. Ball Hogs have had the tendency to start off really well, but then they couldn't sustain it post the first half.
Andre Owens has certainly sustained it. Andre Owens hot early now with 7 points.
We get one timeout.
And the Ball Hogs have not missed a shot. They are perfect from the field, 4-4 thus far.
Well, I talked about the effort. You can say it. If you're Trilogy, we're going to give it. But it's going to show up more than anything on the defensive end of the court. Because that's when you got to expend the most amount of effort is on the defensive end of the court.
1:30 for the whole game, and there's no TV timeout.
What's the name? What's the name? I got it. Fire. He's scared of
Good job.
You know he's going to fall.
Great job.
Let's go to the third man. Our third man on the broadcast team, Michael Rappaport.
Well, I'm happy to be here on a Friday night. I have so many mixed feelings about this building. Obviously, this isn't the building that did the destruction to my New York Knicks, but I wanted to ask you, Jimmy Jackson, the old Boston Garden when you played centuries ago. What are your memories? Was it as rough and tumble as it said for the as historically it's documented for all the opponents?
Well, Rick Barry said sometimes you could come into the locker room, it might be freezing. Sometimes it might be extremely hot. The showers may not be working, or it may just be cold. Yeah, with some rats running around. And once you got on the court, you had to figure out where the dead spots were at in the parquet floor. So you had dead spots. So you had to walk around with the ball and dribble and figure out, okay, that's a dead spot. I got to try to avoid that. But at the end of the day, it was still one of those historical places that when you walked in, kind of like Madison Square Garden, that you just knew history was just all around you.
That's cool.
Stevenson misses the drive. Here's James White. They go to Rashad McCants. He turns, lays it in. Rashad McCants.
Beautiful move that time. Just low post position. When he gets it that low, and he's determined to go and doesn't think about it, there's really nothing you can do unless you're going to double team. And a lot of times the double team can't get there quick enough.
Here's Owens. Jab step. Spin. Lays it in. Oh, tricky Andre Owens.
Oh, nice setup. But it was all because of the hard dribble with the left hand to the middle. Byers had to jump on it. And immediately, Andre Owens knew what he wanted to do with that spin move.
That shot too strong by James White.
Go back to him.
Yeah, here's Owens again. Working on Derek Byers this time.
Switch it. 3, 2, 1.
1 second on his shot clock. Three's no good.
Good. Fuck, man. Let's go. We need to stop now.
7-point lead.
You know, Brian, what'll be interesting to see is, again, both of these teams still have another game to go. But next year, the philosophy, once they get to the combine and draft, how they kind of retool their teams a little bit more, because this is the second year that Ball Hogs has been unsuccessful in regards to really making it to the playoffs. So now you got to start to think a little bit more about how we draft, who we bring in. Same thing with Trilogy. Trilogy kind of stayed pat. That didn't work. So what's the philosophy, the mindset going into the offseason, into next year's combine and draft?
He's setting the pick.
And the big problem for Rick Mahorn's squad, Trilogy, has been injuries this season. There's another jumper. Deshaun Stevenson. No Al Harrington, who averages 18 and 6 for Trilogy.
Something going to the basket.
James White banks it home.
And see, last year he was the X factor. Of course, he was Al Harrington, Rashad McCants, but James White filled the gap. When you helped off of those guys, he made you pay. This year, he hasn't been as effective as he was last year.
Brian Scalabrine wreaking havoc.
Yeah, well, during the championship run, James White, we were accustomed to seeing these type of move, highlight plays.
Let it go.
We just haven't seen that same performance consistently from him, and I really do think that affected also Trilogy in regards to them not being able to win the games that they were in. He just didn't have the same impact that he did last year.
McCants grabs the board. Here's Al Thornton working on Deshaun Stevenson in the post. Turns, good defense. Andre Owens lays it in. Remember, first team to 25, we go to the half.
Yeah, Al Thornton not happy with that call, but Deshaun Stevenson said, listen, you got a foul until it's a foul.
Go by him.
9-point lead. Here's Owens now. He'll pull from three. That's short. Derek Byers, 18-footer, rattles in.
Yeah, just watch him. Watch Scalabrine just bowling and flopping.
You were 3 feet behind the line.
By yourself. By yourself.
Pause!
That's what.
Here's Stevenson. 4 on the shot clock. Goes baseline. Up and under, no.
Well, early on, Andre Owens has shown why he's one of the toughest players to guard, why he was the #1 pick in the draft, because he can beat you off the dribble, he gets inside, you that big body. Give him enough space, he can make you pay from the perimeter. Again, the beautiful spin move setup and layup. Off to a hot start right now with 12 points. 5 of 8 from the field.
Please.
Best rings, talking out.
Yeah, on the jumpers. You got him. I got him.
I didn't get the point, too.
Hey, no foul. Switch. Watch the step in, Al.
Hey, give me a bump on this. Yeah, thank you. Next pitch.
That's the voice of Rick Mahorn, head coach of Trilogy. Shot clock violation by the Ball Hogs.
Hit the rim. It's all right, man. They only got 2 refs, right? Who knows? Let's go. Don't bail him out.
Here's Thornton.
Oh! If you bail him out.
Working on Corsley Edwards.
Not saying you. Just keep attacking. Hey, Shotty.
You see the mindset
Shotty.
right now of the
Get it up
players
top.
for Trilogy.
Don't
And Rick
back up,
Mahorn,
don't
he
bail
wants him
him
to
out.
attack him off the dribble. Don't settle for jump shots. Again, I say the 2-point basket can be your friend because it loosens up the perimeter so you can knock down jump shots like that.
Here's the 3 by Thornton.
You got to keep in mind, guys don't want to get beat off the dribble, so they're going to give you a little room to work with. You can get to your jump shot, but once you consistently beat your guy off the dribble, help has to come. That's when you get those open shots that are not as contested as they could be.
Couldn't see from your angle. This angle, his toe was on the line. Hopefully they have the right angle.
Let me get them.
So the refs are going to take a look and make sure that was a 3-pointer. Take another look or see if his foot was on the line.
Don't let up, y'all. Don't let up.
See, Al, see from that angle, it looks like his front toe was right there on the line. Let's take a look at it from this angle, right? I don't know. See, that's such a, because of the white line and the white at the bottom of his shoe.
Yeah.
You really can't tell if he was right behind it or
Sit back, DB. DB.
if a little bit of his shoe was on the line.
Relax.
That's a tough one right there. Yeah. Even from the other angle, they kept it as a 3. Okay. It looks behind it.
That looks behind it.
Yeah.
All right, get him.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's behind it.
Love, I can't sit down there.
I got a
Shut up. I like this combination.
Well, best thing
By
about
yourself,
this
Johnny.
game on Facebook is Michael Rappaport, who has unprecedented access, has Facebook questions for you. Rapp, what you got?
I have unprecedented access. My shirt proves it. I got questions from Chad. Jordan, Pippen, Rodman. Can anyone beat that team in a 3-on-3? That'd be a tough matchup. Ivan said, who is the meanest player in the league? Man, it's probably Gary Payton and Charles Oakley, man. It's hard to top those guys. Jesse said, who's the best defender in the Big 3? I'll ask Jimmy Jackson that question at the end. Where can you get an unprecedented access shirt? My friend, this is a one-of-one. The Smithsonian already called for it. But I'll ask Jimmy Jackson that question. Jimmy Jackson, who do you think is the best defender in the Big 3?
That's a good question. You got a few. I think Derek Myers is a really good defensive player. Even though he hasn't played as much, his activity is there. Amari Stoudemire inside, able to switch and play perimeter guys, I think gives him an advantage.
Hey, it got 4 fouls.
But of
Don't
course,
even let it go.
the man who's leading everything, who's the most
Got a
physical,
question. Hey, that's
leading
the
the
same shit they
league
doing
in
on us.
rebounding, is Reggie Evans. Reggie Evans just does everything.
My question is to Michael Rappaport, when did we start getting custom shirts?
No, we is plural.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we
when
is
did
plural.
he
Yeah.
start getting custom shirts to go along with his custom chair?
Listen, I'm just going to say this. Like I said, the Smithsonian already called for this. The Basketball Hall of Fame has reached out already. I'll decide what I'm going to do with this shirt at the end of the season. If you want one, I can hook you up. But you would be lying. Your shirt would be living a lie. You'd have unprecedented, it'd say unprecedented access. which you don't actually have. So it's up to you if you want to wear it. You live in that sort of life.
You asked.
I did.
Gave him the platform.
You're right. I did serve that up for him. Jermaine Taylor served up that 3. Thornton ball fake, and the bank is open late here in Boston.
No, I like that. Beautiful move right there. He got to a spot, Thornton did. And Taylor went for the up fake, and that's a tough shot because he's at a real weird angle, but he's still able to use the glass and fake it in for 2. Ball Hogs 5 points away from the half. They go into the big man. Corsley Edwards spins. And here's Derek Byers. Got a piece of it, but they're going to call a foul. Yeah, let's go back to that previous play. Al Thornton gets to a spot, pump fake. Like I always say, stay down. The Air Force don't want you. Al Harrington. Kind of liking that finish that time by Al Thornton. I know he's not happy that he can't participate in this game, especially here in Boston.
Let's go. Box out.
Injuries are unfortunately a part of the game.
He's averaging 18 and 6. Corsley misses that.
Dang it.
Post him up,
That's such a big
James.
play.
Thornton to 3. No. Here's James White, though. Stripped away.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, there's no way. There is no way he was going up. There is no way he was going up. He had the ball and he reached in and knocked it away. He wasn't going up. Watch the replay when you get a chance. That was a joke.
You think he's upset on that one?
Thank you.
Let's see
No,
if he's going
He
up.
wasn't going. No. Hey,
Look at him and
you agree with
Rick
me?
Mahorn. Look at this.
We haven't committed any
I kind of have to agree with Rick that time. It was a bang-bang play, but it looked like still James White. The reach in on Taylor was a little bit right before he was trying to go up for a shot.
Yeah, but he just gave up.
You think, and these coaches too, we're talking about being competitive and wanting to win, and Rick Barry could easily pack it in, but that's just not his nature.
Owens, number 3. Andre Owens. He's got 15.
Go right by him, please.
Ball Hogs 2 points away from the half.
Okay, then come on. Yeah, well, we need to-
Byers.
Go ahead and get him. Go ahead.
I thought that was pretty good defense that time by Andre Owens, kind of anticipating where Derek Byers wanted to get to. And I don't know if his right hand maybe caught the body at the end with a little nudge, but initially I thought it was really good defense.
Game high score. Andre Owens will have a seat. Sean Stevenson checks in. Jermaine Taylor reaches in on James White.
But here's the second. It's the second time.
No.
Now you reach the first time the officials call. Don't really have to. You got James White under control. Now you reach again. Hence, you hadn't made the adjustment.
Yeah, right there.
Pick up a foul. You had him pretty much under control right there.
Rashad McCants to check back in. Give Derek Byers a blow. Here's Thornton. Open 3. Yes.
Again, let's run that again. Need to stop.
18 to 23 now. 5-point lead for the Ball Hogs. Thornton's got 8. Here's Edwards. Shoulder bump. No.
That's a bad shot.
Thornton. The hot hand drive. Off balance. Rolls out.
Good job, baby. Don't bail him out.
So, I understand. So, if you complain because you said you didn't call any fouls and you call 4 fouls in 2 minutes, all of a sudden you call 4 fouls in 2 minutes. I understand. I understand, but that's 4 fouls in 2 minutes because he complained.
Played 4 years.
Put it down.
4 seasons there in the league.
Get the ball back. We get right
Hey, Rick.
It's that one to roll in.
Same play. Same play. Ow.
I don't know if the audience can hear, but what Rick Mahorn wants is the same play in regards to getting Al Thornton on the line or isolation right here with James White.
They go back to Thornton. He's got 10. In the lane. Left it short.
See, that's better defense. That time, Jermaine Taylor didn't bail Al Thornton out by trying to reach in, and hence takes a tough shot. You get it back out. You knock down a 3. when they're at halftime.
Yes, so that 3 sends us to the half. Ball Hogs up 6.
Well, Jermaine Tatum playing great defense.
3 minutes at halftime.
Al Thornton didn't really commit on the defensive end to come out and contest the shot. So he was able to dock it in. Now, we've seen this before from the Ball Hogs. Take a nice, sizable lead in the halftime. The question has always been, how do you come out in the second half? Can you sustain that in order to get a W?
Well, let's go to the man who's got unprecedented access, Michael Rappaport.
All right, plenty of great questions on Facebook. You could ask me questions all night long. Elfan said, who do I think could suit up from the Big 3 in the NBA next season? At Mari Stoudemire, the right situation, I could see Stat back in the league. PJ said, yo, Rappaport, how good would Manu Ginobili be in the Big 3? I think Manu Ginobili would be fantastic in the Big 3, the Big 4, the Big 7, or the Big 8. Keith said, did you see this coming from Trilogy? They were playing so well. I don't think anybody saw it. They have been a surprise and a shock. I think last year they were surprised and a shock that they went undefeated. No one would have predicted they would have struggled this much this season, even with the injuries. What's my favorite Ice Cube song? So many. I have to say Jacket for Beef. When you have unprecedented access, you will cough on air. Tyler said, which of the Celtics Big 3 would be best in the Big 3 league? I mean, I think the classic Big 3 of Bird, McHale, and Robert Parrish, even though they don't have a point guard, I think they would figure it out. And finally, Jacob said, what's been the best part of Season 2 of the Big 3? This, man, talking to the fans, unprecedented access, players. You know, the only thing that's been tough is Brian and Jimmy. They're like weights on my back. Like, have you ever traveled like with like an extra carry-on bag? It's like 2 extra carry-on bags. Fellas?
You know what? I was going to respond to that.
No, you should respond. It deserves a response. We've been carrying Mike the whole time, even when he thinks his unprecedented access gets him credibility.
Absolutely.
When they spell his name wrong, Rappaport.
Yep.
And last week, they put his name at the bottom of the dressing room list.
Yes.
So how you like that?
And it's not like the players really want to talk to him. Coutinho Mobley doesn't even want to talk to him. They doesn't even want to talk to him.
He thinks they don't. But I tell you what, my best part about I do love the interaction with the fans in regards to the Facebook product, because there's been some great questions, and which tells me that a lot of people really are not just having it on for background noise, but are paying attention to what's going on with these games.
Well, folks, every Friday night, Facebook is your exclusive home to the first game of the Big 3. And next week, we roll into the A, Atlanta. It all comes your way next Friday, August 10th. We are live 7 p.m. Eastern only on Facebook. Well, the head coach of the Ball Hogs is the Hall of Famer Rick Barry. And Rick, you go into this second half, your guys are up. Tell me what you like, what you've seen so far in the first half.
Well, I liked it. We were playing great defense in the beginning and had a nice opportunity. We missed that one free throw that really hurt us, but we're taking reasonably good shots, shooting the ball better, and hopefully we've been in this position like 3 times before, 4 times, where we have a lead and all of a sudden we start taking bad shots and we forgot what we did in the first half. So hopefully we'll duplicate the first half and be able to get a victory.
Well, I mentioned that early on, Coach. And what did you tell your team at halftime in order to sustain the effort where they're at now and finish this out?
Well, I just reminded them of what we've done, blowing these leads, that we have another opportunity to win, and we just have to play smart basketball. And if we do that and take good shots, we'll be fine.
Well, I want to ask you this, too. Rick Mahorn seems to be complaining at the referees about getting fouled. Did you?
Yeah.
Is it your turn in the second half?
Yeah, well, wait a second. We had a chance to do it, missed the free throw. They had one. We only had 1 foul. He complained, and within 2 minutes, we had 4 more fouls. So I guess it helps to complain.
That's the Hall of Famer, Rick Barry. Thank you, Coach. Here's the White Mamba. Sky. The crowd wants it. He drops it. And loses the basketball.
That's the kind of stuff that we can't do.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, there's this Sean Stevenson for 3.
Now, I wonder what his son thought about that display of athleticism and balance right there. by Scal.
The sad part is, all Scal told us was, this is the first time my son is actually getting to see me play in this building.
And look what he saw. He got a little extended with his pivot foot and wasn't able to maintain his balance.
McCants hits the three. Here's DeShaun Stevenson. Al Thornton grabs the board. 3-point lead here for the Ball Hogs. 5 on the shot clock for James White. White misses that one. Andre Owens, he had 14 in the first half.
3-2-1.
Here's Owens, ball fake, step back, pulls it. McCants snags the board.
Now we're not attacking, we're taking
Trilogy.
bad shots.
The three, no. Stevenson wide open. Yes.
And I love that play because it's quick. Got the ball out. Deshaun sprinted to the open spot. That time,
Watch him hitting
Trilogy
on the arm, please.
on defense couldn't recover back in.
6-point lead again for Trilogy. James White calls for it, spins, baseline. Now, we said this is the first time Brian Scalabrini's son has seen him play in his building. Look at him pregame. He even went through his pregame. Look, his son was telling him, look, come off the screen, shoot the jumper, Dad.
He's telling him. He's telling him what to do. We saw the display when coaches always say, take it from the bench to the floor.
Thank you. I didn't see
That time, Scal left there, all that
on.
instruction on the bench.
Rat, I know you were there courtside while that was going on. Scal was working with his son.
Well, that was fantastic. You know, that's one of the other things, going back to one of the things about liking the Big 3, watching the players with their sons, Reggie Evans, Junkyard Dog, everybody's got their sons out. Hogs got their his kids out today. I love that, and the kids are so excited. One thing I'll say about Scal, I like to break his chops, but let us not forget that he's an NBA player, an NBA champion, and that, you know, we can have fun with him now. He's not what he was when he used to be, but he's a champion, and it's like, I put Brian Scalabrine up against any single person out there watching. If you want that white mamba work, he will give you that white mamba work.
That was the family of Brian Scalabrine you saw through sitting courtside.
100%. That ball hit the rim. It didn't touch the rim. That ball hit the rim.
You know what was the great thing about Brian Scalabrine? I remember when the Celtics won the championship in this building. And you remember Pierce and all those guys went to the interview room like they usually do after the championship. And for some reason, after all those guys that came in there, Scal came in. And members of the media were like, why is Brian Scalabrine coming in? And he gave them one of the greatest things. He said, listen, I know you guys are looking at me crazy right now because we just won the championship. But 10 years from now, I'm going to be the guy who scored 20. 15 years from now, I'm going to be the guy who's the MVP of the NBA Finals. He said, my legend will grow, and it has. I mean, Boston loves this guy.
Well, you know what, though? But keep in mind, Scal made some big shots during that series, okay? Like, he really came in and played. He accepted his role, who he is. He's not trying to do too much. And then when they needed him to get some rebounds and knock down some big shots in critical situations during that series, he was able to do it.
Come on, guys.
And that's the appreciation part of it.
You're right. First team to 50 wins this one. Ball Hogs up 2. Here's Taylor. It's short.
And I thought Taylor, Sean McCann's got away with tapping the shooting arm, the shooting elbow of Jermaine Taylor. It was right there in front of the official, so I can understand why he's upset that a foul was not called.
You know, the interesting thing was Rashad McCann said, I love games like this. He said, number one, because I'm going against DeShaun Stevenson. I know how much of a competitor he is. He said, but this is good because you have two teams who are playing for pride, and I'm curious to see who's going to quit.
I love it. I mean, I love it because it's easy to fold it in. It's just like during the regular season of football, basketball, baseball, when you're out of the playoff hunt. Are you still professional? Do you still come and do your job? And that's what Rashad McCann is talking about. And right now, both teams are playing extremely hard.
Terry Myers did his job. Knocks down that three, and all of a sudden, Trilogy has the lead now.
And once again, coming out of halftime, the Ball Hogs don't have the same energy on the defensive end that they had in the first half.
Fucking
Hence,
whistle.
Trilogy has the lead by 1.
Watch the first one. Watch the first initial contact. I understand. I got you. But watch him first.
1 point lead for Trilogy.
Let's go. Watch his off arm.
First team to 50 wins. You got to win
Watch
by
his
2.
off arm.
Here's Owens now.
Yeah, it's all outside. We're
In
never
and
going
out.
to the basket, guys. Nothing to the basket.
Here's Byers. Ball fake.
Huh?
Derek
Watch that
Byers to
water
go
right
to the
there.
line. Byers is from Memphis.
Yeah, I definitely do that, but we
Played
got
his
to go to the
college ball in
basket. We're taking
Virginia,
nothing but outside
Vanderbilt.
shots.
Spent a season in the NBA.
All
Played
outside
with the
shots.
Spurs.
Excuse me.
Same old stuff.
Four,
man.
right?
It's like deja vu all over
Had
again.
a team hot 15 last week.
Hey, keep
You know, I
attacking.
really think if Derek
They got
Byers was,
14.
before he came over from Three's Company, he was here a little bit early. He could have been a guy because of his energy in those
Hey,
close game
weave.
situations that could have got a deflection,
weave and
got a
attack.
steal, hit a big shot.
Hey, weave
to
and
kind of put this
attack.
Trilogy
By
team
yourself.
back
Let's go, weave and
on
attack.
pace to win more games.
Keep in mind, Jim, Ball Hogs had a 6-point lead. You asked Coach Barry about this. He said, we can't blow leads. Trilogy on a 9-0 run before that 3.
Well, real simple.
That's all. Let's go.
You didn't settle in the first half. You attacked off the dribble and you played outstanding team defense. And what happens in the second half, you kind of let the defense go, start shooting jump shots. Hence, Trilogy is able to get back in the game.
Tied up. Taylor, not anymore with that 3. 38-35.
Win the penalty. Take him. Take him.
Rick Mahorn wants him to drive to the basket. Byers misses the 3. Stevenson.
Go to the hole.
Inside the mechanic.
And Rashawn Stevenson that time is saying that Rashawn McCants didn't clear outside of the lane and then reestablish himself back in.
Let's go. Let's go.
So you have to do that in order to receive the ball to score inside. And Rashawn Stevenson didn't think McCants cleared.
1 point lead. As Stevenson drives.
Hey, you got the better position right here.
Don't foul him. And this is what I'm talking about right here. If you can see, when he was outside the lane, then he walked in.
He hold him first.
You can't be
Damn,
fouling.
he don't
So
even
let's
have
take a
the
look.
ball. How could you hold him first?
You can't tell from that part, that angle, was he really outside of the lane and walked
Watch
himself in.
Stevenson
And I think
hold
that's
on
what
like this.
the reason for, or the issue of contention was right there for Stevenson.
Just watch. 'Cause they
Here's
ain't did
DeJean
nothing
Stevenson,
other
one of the
than that.
co-captains of the
Music
Ball
on to
Hogs.
right.
Averages 11. That one's too strong. Stevenson right at his season average right now of 11. Here's James White. Spins. Good block by Andre Owens. Byers, the follow. Yes. And he's limping.
You all right? Hold on. You all right?
1 point lead for Trilogy.
You all right? Hold on.
I'm good. I'm good.
Let's go. Go through. By yourself, Glove.
Stevenson, 3. Yes.
And see, with DeShawn Stevenson, you got to close his airspace. James White was there,
Let's go.
but being there is not good enough. You have to be able to crowd DeShawn Stevenson, make him put it on the deck a little bit.
Wayne Taylor. All of a sudden, the Ball Hogs now. Just 7 points away from victory. Let's go to Michael Rappaport.
All right, I got great questions on Facebook Live. What cities would you want to see the Big 3 expand to next season? Let's go back. Let's double up. Let's go to Utah. Let's go to Dallas. Let's go to Houston. We'll go to Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden would be ridiculous. Who gave me unprecedented access? D asked that question. D, the game is to be sold, not to be told. Noah said, what's the most important skill set in the Big 3? Is it speed, shooting, physicality? I think all of it I think the sleeper skill set is the physicality, but basketball is basketball. This is high-level basketball, but I think the physicality is the sleeper skill set. Will said one-on-one. Jimmy Jackson and I play a game to 10. Jimmy Jackson gives me 8 points. Who wins? Back in the days, I would never say that I could beat an NBA player, but all I need to do is score 2 points on Jimmy Jackson. Now, the guy who plays golf 8-9 times a week, games to 10, 8-point lead, I get the ball first. That's easy work, Jimmy. That's easy work.
Hey, listen, my man.
That's easy work.
I will smoke 3 cigars and have a couple of adult beverages.
Yeah.
And maybe even give you the ball so you can make it take it. And you will not score a bucket. Oh,
Jimmy
my
Jackson,
goodness.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
What you going to do?
I'm taking you to the low post.
No,
I'm pump faking you. I'm jump hooking you. The game's
hold on,
over.
but why would you think I would go for a pump fake when I know you can't score?
Then I'm just going up right there.
Whatever.
With that 73-inch reach. Fellas.
Oh, my God.
That's 73-inch reach.
Oh, my gosh. Someone help this man. Someone help this man. 4-point lead for the ball hog. Andre Owens. 4 on the shot clock. Lost it. Deion Glover missed the bunny. Oh, my.
You got to pay attention, guys. If he was paying attention.
You know what? Coaches right now would be just frustrated right now if they saw this kind of pump fake from a player. You know, they'll just sit him down. Another layup missed. That's 2 layups by Trilogy right now.
Rick Mahorn needs a hug.
They need more than that.
Here's Rashad McCann.
That's what he needs more of right there. He needs more of that.
2-point lead.
We're good right now.
Need a stop.
You know, can ball hogs finish it off?
Maine Taylor. Good drive, missed. Here's Byers. We got a tie ball game, and Rick Barry has seen enough. His Trilogy has come charging back, and we got a tie ball game at 43.
Okay, under control. Come on, guys.
That's a good attack.
That's right. It's a good attack. It's a good attack. That's all.
That's what we want. We want you going to the basket.
When you just don't sometimes just stop and gather.
Not enough of this all season right here from Rashad McCann. I know he's scoring a lot, but the impact hasn't been the same. And underneath, Jermaine Taylor misses, doesn't hit the rim, so now Trilogy doesn't have to clear. It can take it right back up.
We got to go.
We're back tied again.
Don't give him an
If the guy goes spot up, you can kick it out, and you can shoot that open 3, all right? Let's get a basket right here. Basket here. Hey, I
Let's
also
go
like
to
the one that
Michael
you did when you
Rappaport. What you got, Rapp?
Well, as you can see, this is actual unprecedented action. How's it going, fellas? I'll see you later. McDonald's. Listen, both of these teams have been inconsistent all this season. And that's the reason why both of these teams have been struggling. And we're seeing it magnify in front of, I don't even know what that word is, but we're seeing it happen in front of our face. This is the reason why these teams haven't been successful, because they can't close out games and they're not consistent throughout the games. Don't you think so, fellas?
No, I just want to know where it magnified came from.
I don't know what that was.
Is that part of your unprecedented
Language? You know what, Jack? I don't even know what word I was going for there. I know sometimes when I screw up a word, I don't even know what word I was going for there.
I think I'm going to, can I use that in words with friends? You
I say we
magnify?
patent it, we go 50-50 on that.
Thornton misses. We're tied up at 43. Stevenson for 3. Here's Derek Byers. Working on Owens. Too strong.
First time.
Go to the basket.
I'd rather them shoot it the first time.
Especially when you're in the bonus.
Yes, yes.
I think we got one more.
Easier said than done, obviously, for both teams.
Owens follows his shot.
See, it takes a little bit more energy to have to beat your guy off the dribble, because a lot of guys will just settle for a contested jump shot.
Hey, Shotty.
It's not the basketball we're playing now compared to the first half is like, it's like a different freaking team. Why do we not want to do what we do? just don't understand it. I can understand how we don't just move the ball and cut.
Should I get...
Come on, guys.
You hear Rick Barry
Go to the basket.
telling his guys we want them to go to the basket. Stevenson, there's the drive, and there's the reach-in.
Well, I mean, keep it as simple as possible. What's been working for you? Of course, Trilogy will make some adjustments on the defensive end, but they haven't made enough adjustments to keep ball hogs from driving. The ball hogs themselves limited that aspect of the game because they began to settle just for long contested jump shots.
Stevenson will go to the line 1 for 2. Misses that one. Here's Myers. Myers backs down Taylor. Spin. Missed it. Now Owens. The pull-up. Wow, tried to bank that home. Now all of a sudden, both teams have fallen in love with the jump shot. So Myers lays that one in. 2-point lead for Trilogy. Let's go to Michael Rappaport.
All right, I'm on the bench here, Scal. Your team is...
45-43. Why are you on the bench right now with me?
Because I have unprecedented access, and I'm talking to you about your team's inconsistencies. Now, you seem to be confused that Trilogy complains a lot. That's what they do. You're on the bench. The people want to see you play. I say this might be a little cool.
I'll get
Mamba?
Jermaine.
Mamba.
Not Jermaine.
Mamba.
Sean.
We need him in his shot.
Mamba.
When he hasn't made a shot, he's been missing
The
everything.
Mamba's walked away from the interview.
Come on,
The ego has gotten hold of him. He's in Boston. You know this guy's been promising me dinner for 6 weeks. We get to Boston. Not one phone call, not one text was responded to. So what, Mama? So what?
Trilogy with a 4-point lead. 3 points away from victory.
And this is the guy you got to go to right here to close it out.
Rashad McCants.
Especially on the block.
And he spins, dumps it home. And Trilogy now just a point away from victory.
Go get him.
And Deshaun Stevenson is laying down hurt.
Yeah, I think he did.
I swear to God, I don't understand what the
And
hell
he's pointing to the ground like he may have slipped on some condensation on the floor.
Stop going to the basket.
Just take a look right here as Can't right there. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but that little movement right there, especially for the inside of the groin, when you stretch it like that, all the weight is distributed one way. I mean, it doesn't look painful, or it doesn't look like it's a tough one, but it is.
6-point lead for Trilogy, a point away from game.
Second half, I take.
Let's do it. Got him.
Scalabrini checks back in for the ball. They run the weave. Here's Taylor. Lays it in.
Well, you know Trilogy doesn't want to foul, because if they foul, they score. Being the ball hogs, they get the chance to get to the free throw line and get back. So Rick Mahorn has been here before where he's told his troops.
That's what happened in Miami.
In Miami, we're up. Okay, if they score, don't foul, we get the ball back and we can end the game.
Here's Derek Myers. Let's see if they close it out with Rashad McCants. Their leading scorer. Spin. Take. Yes. Point game. Trilogy. Rashad McCants closes it out. He's the leading scorer, and Trilogy racks up their second win of the season.